Kalla here. Welcome to my live stream. Glad you could make it today. So today, some more variable Barricade. Last time we finished up Shion's level 1 Barricade board and did some more in the common route board, which we're close to being done with. We met our helpful friend who I am starting to be a bit suspicious of again. Like, is he completely unconnected? I'm not certain. But now it's time for the puppy. It's time for Nayata. And I realised earlier, we're going to actually have to let him win these barricade battles, aren't we? Because we fended off everyone else. So I assume if I want to actually get on a route, we're gonna have to give the puppy some leeway. Hello, Drag. How you doing? And let's get into Puppy Dog Waltz. An all-round athlete and a picture of health. Gets emotionally attached like a puppy, well-meaning, but has a knack for messing up whatever he's trying to help. We could just make the puppy lose and the game will figure something out. Yeah, that's something I legitimately don't know whether we get to choose or not. And I don't want to get into a position where where the game's like, oh, you can't actually do any of this. You have to redo the entire common route again. You know? Also, I suspect if we make him lose here, then that'll probably block our way to an ending. I actually don't know how these affect that. I don't know if we get barricade battles later. I know nothing. I'm okay. I thought yesterday I was coming down with a cold, but I'm feeling a lot better today, so hooray. Nayata Yagami, also known as the Walking Debt Generator. His naivete makes things worse and causes problems on a daily basis. All he wants to do is be helpful to me, but that's why he struggles so much. What's more, it feels like he's gotten even more intense lately. Or maybe that's just my imagination. After adjusting my uniform and checking my bag, I left my room to go downstairs. Plenty of time to spare, as always. It feels good to know my well-honed habits work. But recently I've developed a morning routine that's not going so well. I leapt back, startled, as Nayata appeared suddenly at the bottom of the stairs. Here we go. The new morning routine. At the bottom of the stairs, in the corner of the hallway, in another room. It feels like Nayata is always somewhere waiting for me to come downstairs. Potato salad for breakfast. Nayata's eyes glittered with excitement, but I felt exhausted yet again. Yeah, yeah. Ichia does not understand breakfast. I guess I've got to think about the fact that these level 1 boards could be done at any time, and therefore at this point Ichia hasn't been reprimanded. Shion and Tiger came into the room, no doubt drawn by Nayata's thunderous voice.
Ohayo, Hibari-chan. 今日もお迎えされたんだね。
お嬢も大変だな。
I took my seat without a word. As if anticipating my actions, Ichia came out of the kitchen wearing his apron and bearing a plate of food.
おはよう、ひばりさん。今日はスムージーボールにポテトサラダ、焼きたてのベーグルを君のために。
That's what you meant by a bread wheel, Nayata. Also, what's a smoothie bowl? Not a drink, then? Honestly, can I just have the bagel? The bagel on its own is fine. Well, maybe with something on it. But just the bagel.
ひばりさん、ポテトサラダはフォーク派ですか、スプーン派ですか。そのパンみたいなやつには何か塗りますか。
Yeah, the bagel and the smoothie in a glass. Yes, smoothie in a glass with a straw. Because we're being fancy. Do I want a fork or a spoon? I don't want potato salad for breakfast.
おい、なゆた。彼女は今俺と話を。
このジャムはさっきつまみ食いしたら美味しかったです。おすすめです。ぜひ俺に塗らせてください。
No, thank you. Not jam. Thank you, Nayata.
いや、それくらい自分で。
よーし、美味しくなーれ。
He piled a thick, sticky layer of jam on top of my bagel. So much for watching my sugar intake.
はい、できました。たっぷりしっかり塗りましたから。さ、口を開けてください。あーん。
Nayata, what?
自分でやるから。
え
Nayata just blinked as I gave him a hard look.
私は自分のことが自分でできるし、やりたいと思ってるの。だからそっとしておいて。
でも、そしたら俺何すればいいんですか。
Eat your own breakfast. It's what I'd like to know. I'm supposed to answer that. Tiger sighed loudly.
なゆた、駄菓子買ってこい。駄菓子。そうだ、駄菓子だ。駄菓子を買ってくることが今お前がやるべきことだ。
Those were the magic words. Nayata's eyes lit up as soon as he heard the command.
もうタイガさんはしょうがないですね。その代わり朝ごはんもちゃんと食べなきゃダメですよ。いいからさっさと行け。
It's Nayata, hasn't he already gone through 2 servings of breakfast? The question is, would he eat before his master appeared? I don't know.
行ってきまーす。
A wave of exhaustion crashed over me. Shion smiled, completely unfazed.
最近のナイタ、すごい張り切りようだよね。
確かに最近のあいつはやばい。 暇すぎて元気が爆発寸前だぜ。
Do they make exercise wheels large enough for a human? He clearly needs something like that. Oh wait, no, a treadmill exists. I guess it doesn't have to be a wheel.
というか爆発しているね。
何かあったの？
My voice wavered with apprehension, and Ichia gave me a sad smile.
じゃがいもの皮むきを頼んだら見事に一箱空っぽにされてしまってね。
I see. Today we're having potato salad. Yesterday it was hash browns, which are a reasonable breakfast food. And the day before, potato galette. Yeah, that could also be reasonably breakfast. maybe I just have something against potato salad in general.
しかも皮が分厚い。
俺はこの間ガレージで待ち伏せされたぜ。雑巾とかクリーナーとかバケツとか準備して。
雑巾？
バイクで出たら小雨に降られてない。帰ってきたらバッチリスタンバってて、あのしつこさには参ったぜ。
へえ、ナユタにバイク触らせたんだ。
多少壊れても平気なとこな。
No, that's Tiger's annoyed voice. Things might be more serious than I thought.
シオンさんは何かあった？
ああ、そういえば。
A question that actually bothers Shion? Never thought I'd see the day.
僕が頼んだのと違う商品を買ってきたときは困ったかな。
I hope someday Shion understands what it really means to be inconvenienced.
けどまあ、あいつも欲求不満なんだろ、お嬢のせいで。
Why is it my fault?
欲求不満？
I cringed at the thought and Tiger snickered like he'd cracked a great joke.
俺が言ってんのは、お嬢の役に立ちたいって欲求の話だ。それを本人がことごとく跳ねのけてる。だから爆発寸前、爆発してんだろ。
Can we just, like, send him to volunteer at an old people's home? That'll get the energy out, right? He'll feel useful, right? This is my fault. I guess I did tell him I could take care of myself. That's where I went wrong. No one's ever told me something like that before. I didn't know what to say, then suddenly... Yeah, Drag, you make a good point. He clearly does help the old people out. I thought you were back a bit soon.
シャッター閉まってて、叩いても誰も出てきません。
Can't believe him.
それで、俺次はどうしたらいいですか？やることなくなっちゃったから。学校までひばりさんを送りに。
駄菓子屋さんの前で待機。開店するまで動かないで、絶対に。
わかりました。
Ha! An order. Naota practically skipped away. There's something seriously wrong with that boy? I got dropped off at home like usual, but I noticed something was missing. Kasuga wasn't there. He's almost always here to meet me. I had a bad feeling about this. The instincts I'd developed because of the boy's antics kicked into high gear. Oh, wait a second. Why do I get the feeling that maybe that candy store wasn't open today? um
では出題してみましょう。あなたが仏教にどれほどの興味関心があるのか気になりますので。
Kasuga's voice echoed down the hallway. Quietly, I peered into the living room. Oh, no, he is here. He is here. That's fine. I was half worried I'd made the puppy sit outside of a closed candy store all day. Kasuga towered over Nayata, who sat formally on his knees, back ramrod straight.
自業自得、因果応報、悪因悪化、言語道断、地獄投下。さあ、これの意味は
How much damage did Nayata cause by waiting? Yeah! A taste of one's own... Nayata blinked away tears and whimpered. There was a good chance I'd get mixed up in this if I stuck around. I tried to follow my intuition and close the door, but... Oh no. Evan called for help.
待ちなさい。この仏像をどうするつもりです。
He brought home a Buddha statue? Naruto attempted to run to me, but Kasuga forced him to stay. Buddha statue? They could possibly be talking about... I had no choice but to enter the living room. Kasuga bowed his head to me as an apology.
申し訳ありません。お出迎えの時間を失念しておりました。少々立て込んでおりまして。
そうみたいね。仏像っていうのは
Kasuga shook his head with disgust and slowly pointed toward the wall.
ここの壁紙だけ茶色になってる
No. Something's off.
これは段ボール箱ですよ。仏像入りの。
Did he get conned into buying a giant Buddha statue? Nearly covered the whole wall, top to bottom, side to side. That must be one enormous Buddha statue.
本来であれば、ひばり様がご帰宅される前に片付けるつもりだったのですが、業者も手間取っているようでして。
それより、なんでここに大仏が？
こちらは八神様からひばり様への贈り物です。
はあ？
正直に申しますと、八神様からあなたへの奇想天外な贈り物は今回が初ではありません。
Kasuga, how often do you have to deal with returning weird gifts.
以前には幸運を呼ぶ壺、幸せになれる数珠、飾っておくだけで運気が上がる石、そして今日は幸福を招く大仏です。
He gets scammed so much, doesn't he? Do I look cursed or something?
今まで何度注意してきたか私自身もわかりません。
彼らの生活費って盗聴家が負担してるはずじゃ、まさか今のもすべて？
My face twitched at the thought of all that money, but Kasuga gave me a reassuring smile.
いいえ、生活費やひばり様に役立つものであればこちらで清算いたしますが、それ以外の損失は全て自己責任ですよ。つまり今回の350万円も八神様の借金上乗せです。
The giant Buddha statue was how much, Nayuta? It's like £30,000-ish, I think. Unless I did that conversion extremely wrong. It might be slightly less than that actually, based on the strength of the yen. But besides, it's still far too much. Just under 18k. Ooh, yen's weaker than I thought it was. I clearly need to do some shopping. It's still far too much.
350万円？
でもこの大仏さんは本物で。
No, it's not. Nayuta's desperate cry only garnered a frosty smile from Kasuga.
先ほど裏が取れました。この仏像の販売元は詐欺容疑で検挙されています。偽物ですね。
そんな、だって大仏さんがいてくれたら幸せが舞い込んでくるって。
詐欺の常套句です。
I turned to Nayuta, whose eyes were rapidly filling with tears, and sighed. Okay, now's the point where I need to make that decision as to how I'm doing this. Actually, I suppose if we mess it up, I have the save from the beginning of today. That's why I have multiple saves. Let's just stick to what we... Is Nayuta getting scammed in person or online? Probably in person, I think. Oh god, he would... Nayuta should not be allowed online. Thinking of all the scams that happen. Nayuta should not be allowed online. He should worry about himself, or why is he like this? I kind of just want to go with why is he like this? Let's just go with it. Oh! That was the positive choice!
どうしてそこまで役に立つことにこだわるの？
それは俺がそのために花婿候補になったからです。
A helpful husband. I couldn't help but feel like something was off when something was always off when I talked to Nayata. Completely missing my concerned expression, Nayata's eyes sparkled as he spoke.
俺はひばりさんの近くにいて、ひばりさんを守り続けて、ひばりさんの役に立ちたいんです。だから、いっぱい叱ってくれて構いません。
If you want to be useful, then why not do things that won't get you reprimanded? Nayata's statement baffled me, but I straightened my posture, trying to regain my composure.
とにかく私は自分のことは自分でやるし、不審な霊感グッズに頼るつもりもないの。わかった？
じゃあ大仏さんも？
いりません。
可愛くないからですか？
Huh? You serious? I slowly exhaled and looked him directly in the eye.
いい？これからは自己判断で変なものを買わないこと。まずは私か春日に許可を取って。約束できる？
Nayata looked up at me through teary eyes and nodded emphatically. All right, that's settled. Yeah, the fact that it's not cute is not the main reason. The fact that it's absolutely bloody gigantic and completely unnecessary. I smiled with satisfaction, but Kasuga snickered.
何よ、その反応。
私が先ほど言ったことを覚えていますか？今まで何度注意してきたかと。
Well, maybe he'll listen to me more than you, Kasuga. We can always try. But that would mean... A fresh bout of anxiety surged through me. But he agreed so earnestly. Would he really break his promise? That's why...
ありがとうございました。
Nayata shot up and stood tall with a bright smile. I was shocked, but still wanted to believe in him so badly.
ねえ、ネイト君。今の話、ちゃんと理解したわよね。
はい。叱ってもらってすっきりです。
Where did all his remorse go? Stunned, I looked over and saw Kasuga wearing the smuggest grin I'd ever seen. Rabbi,
たまに
Rabbi,
妙な視線を感じるんだよね。
Yeah, Hayataka, you repeat what I just said. Yeah, that's exactly the thing that should be involved here.
参ったぜ。
あれ？タイガさん？ここで何してるんですか？
ああ、なよたが腹減ったからなんか食いもんねえかと思ってな。
何か見つかりました？実は俺もお腹ペコペコで。
いや、なんもねえな。食材があるっちゃあるが。作るか。
タイガさんが作ってくれるんですか？
アホ、お前も手伝うんだよ。冷やご飯と野菜はある。チャーハンくらいならできるだろう。
けど俺、カップ麺くらいしか作れなくて。
いいから、俺の言う通りにしとけ。とりあえず、このレタスちぎってろ。
タイガさんが言うなら安心ですね。
バッ。おい君たち、ここで何してるんだ？
ああ、イチャさん。
何って料理に決まってんだろ？
君たちが料理？一体何を？
チャーハンです。
チャーハン？仕方ないな。 待っていてくれ。今中華鍋を出して。
フライパンで十分だっての。じゃ俺は先に肉を炒めるか。
ちょっと待ってくれ。チャーハンにマヨネーズはおかしいだろう。普通はサラダ油かラードで。
Mayonnaise? To fry a thing? I'm agreeing with Ichia on this one. You're doing what?
こっちの方がパラパラになるんだよ。ねえた、レタスが終わったら冷やご飯と生卵混ぜとけ。
はーい。
混ぜる？炒める前に混ぜてしまうのか？
You know what? That part's probably okay.
いいから黙って見てろって。よし、フライパンに肉投入。ねえた、次はレタスだ。
はい。
次は飯。
はい。
醤油と塩コショウで味付けして。
おい、そんな適当に。
Yeah, Ichia, he's measuring with his heart, which is absolutely fine to do.
そんなもん味見しながら確かめりゃいいんだよ。
いい匂い。
よし、ちょっくら味見を。うまい。
やったー。早く食べたいです。
やけに茶色くないか？
Extra flavor.
別にうまけりゃいいだろ。ほらなよた、皿に盛ってやったから食え。
いただきまーす。おいしい。
そんな、これが美味しい。あんな適当な作り方でこんなに茶色い食べ物が？
This is just the normal Ichia doesn't understand. Not everything has to be fancy food, Ichia.
たくうるせえやつだな。ほら、お前にもよそってやるや。
Want some cheese with that wine? I do like that phrase.
いや、一口でいい。
どうだ、うまいだろ？
信じられない。レタスの小気味いい歯ごたえ、マヨネーズによりコーティングされた米のパラパラ感、癖になる味付け。まさに本格派。
これで分かったろ。料理はレシピ通りに作ればいいってわけじゃねえんだぜ。
タイガさんおかわり。
So what we've learned is that Tiger can cook. It did sound pretty interesting, but could it have been that good? I kind of want to try some now. Hopeless debt generator. Nayato was abducted by sketchy men, but when everyone finds out why... Oh boy, a second one to get kidnapped, huh? A late afternoon on my day off. When I can enjoy a nice quiet read with a hot cup of tea and some snacks. Sorry, some sweets. Not snacks in general, specifically sweets. That's what I longed for anyway.
ねえ、新しいネイルチップのデザインなんだけど、どっちが好き？カラーも一緒に考えよう。
今は本を読んでいるので。
お嬢、たまの休みぐらい外出ろよ。家にこもってばっかいると牛になるぞ。
牛？休日以外もゴロゴロしてるあなたに言われたくありません。
俺は出てかなきゃいけない時にはちゃんと出てくからいいんだよ。
私だって同じよ。
turned back to my novel and attempted to block out their conversation. I had been reading in my room, but then the promise of tea and sweets lured me to the living room. Naito and Ichia will probably be back soon from shopping. A large sigh escaped my lips just thinking about having to deal with all of them at once.
どうぞ。ハーブティーです。疲れに効きますよ。
I looked up and saw a teacup placed on the table and Kasuga smiling gently at me. If he knows I'm exhausted, then he could do more to help me out now. I thought to myself, picking up the cup, just as I was about to take a sip.
大変だ。
Ichia crashed to the floor and gasped for air between ragged breaths.
どうしたの？
まあ落ち着けよ。
すぐにお水をお持ちします。
ねえ、僕がお願いしたもの買ってきてくれた？
Wow, Shion! The room, Shion!
ナユタに頼んだんだけど、本人が見当たらないからさ。
Ichia managed to catch his breath, but his voice was still strained.
ナユタが怪しい男たちに。
どういうこと？怪しい男たちがどうしたの？まさか危ないこと？
ひばり様、落ち着いてください。三森様、まずはお水を。
My anxiety grew tenfold as Ichia took the glass. Ichia drank the water in one go, took a deep breath and began explaining. What happened was no, we need to be an Ichia voice. What happened was Nayata and I had finished getting groceries and were on our way back.
今日もいっぱい買いましたね。ひばりさん喜んでくれるといいな。
彼女のためだけならこんなに買い込む必要はないんだ。誰かが無駄に消費するからね。
もしかして俺ですか？
もしかしなくてもナユタだ。
だって日夜さんの料理美味しいから。
そこの兄ちゃん、ちょっといいか？
なんだ君たちは。
用があんのはお前じゃねえ。そっちの兄ちゃんだ。
Nayata.
あ、はいはい、俺ですよね。一夜さん、ちょっと行ってきます。荷物お願いしますね。
おい、ナユタ！
And just like that, Nayata left with these two strange guys.
下品でセンスのない柄物のシャツにだらしない黒のスーツ。サングラスの下には傷跡も見えた。とてもじゃないけれど、まっとうな人間には見えなかったよ。雰囲気からして借金取りだ。
Debt collectors? I gasped, but Tiger and Shion looked more puzzled than anything else.
マジでそういう格好してんだな。
なんか清潔感を感じないよね。僕は近寄りたくないタイプだな。
Yeah, not. Well, it's not like they grabbed Nayata and dragged him off somewhere. He went with them willingly. He's the sort of person who would, How did he survive childhood? Because I feel like he would have been dragged into a white van that said free sweets on the side of it. not the focus here. I ignored the two and turned to Ichia.
それで警察には連絡したの？
いや、
どうして？
あのな、お嬢。ナユタは自分でついてったんだろ。合意のもとなら通報する理由になんねえよ。
でも待ち伏せされてたんでしょ？これは事件よ。暴力とか怪我とか。いえ、怪我で済んだらまだマシ。
ひばり様、少し落ち着いて。
落ち着いていられるわけないでしょ。
Feeling panicked, my mind jumped from one scenario to the next, each worse than the one before.
兄ちゃん、息が良さそうだな。金がねえなら違うもんで払ってもいいんだぜ。
兄貴、足にしますか？腕にしますか？
そんなんじゃこいつの借金はチャラになんねえ。
じゃあ心臓っすね。
The heart. Blood drained from my face. No matter how much Naruto may annoy me, I can't let those guys do that to him. Oh no, what do we do? What do we do?
このままじゃ那由他くんの心臓が。
心臓？
Kasuga raised his eyebrows suspiciously and then let out an exasperated sigh.
仕方ありませんね。三森様、八神様はどちらの方へ向かいましたか？
ああ、少し後を追いかけたんだ。そしたらこの家の裏手の方に。
行くわよ、タガさん。
I rushed to Tiger and grabbed his hand.
なんで俺？
いいから。
お待ちください。
Tiger's just like, why me? It's because you look like you'd handle yourself best in a fight against thugs, Tiger.
俺も行くよ。
いってらっしゃい。ネイルチップの続きっと。
Okay, yeah, also motorbike.
本当にこっちで間違いないの？
ああ、確かにこっちだったと。
皆様、お静かに。見つけましたよ。
なんで俺まで？
静かにして。
We found a place to hide and looked over to where Kasuga pointed. Shion as the meme with the dog surrounded by fire. Yeah. I mean, the thing mainly is I think Shion's only concerned about things that are related to himself. It's like, this isn't affect me? Okay, fine. Carry on. You know. Those are the sketchy guys Ichia described. They definitely looked like bad news if their gaudy clothes were any indication. Naruto stood opposite the two men.
これからどうするんだ？大体なんで俺を連れてきた？
あなたが一番ああいう人たちに近そうだから対処の方法も知ってるかと思って。
は？
Yeah, they look like bad news, you look like bad news.
静かに。俺が悪いのかよ。
I ignored Tiger's scowl and crossed my arms, trying to figure out what to do.
やっぱり警察に通報すべきかしら。
そうかもしれないね。相手が武器を持っていないとも言い切れないし。
ですがまだ状況把握が。
おい、 変じゃねえか。
Tiger drew my attention to the conversation Nayata was having with the two men.
いやー、すみません。その今月の利子がほんのちょこっと足りないみたいで、今払えたりしますかね。
あれ、俺間違えちゃいました？
本当にちょこっとなんですけどね。この分が。
うわあ、本当だ。わざわざ来てもらっちゃってごめんなさい。
いえいえいえいえいえいえ。
そのぐらいのお金なら今持ってるのでギリ足ります。これでお願いします。
はい、ちょうどいただきました。
それじゃあまた来月。
悪いことしちゃったな。お腹すいた。早く帰ろう。
那由他くん、
ひばりさん。
I mean, it seems like they are debt collectors. Just weirdly nice ones. Also, Nayata, if you only pay the interest every month, then you're never going to pay the debt down. Nayata looked shocked as we all filed out of our hiding spot.
なんでこんなところに？なんか嬉しいな。
俺の心配を返してくれ。
ひばり様、いいお勉強になりましたね。
このアホ。
なんで俺殴られたんですか
Nayata seemed truly confused, so I made sure to speak in my most serious tone.
理解できるように説明して。それまでは夕食抜き。
Yeah, I'd love an explanation, Ned. We all sat on the couch and made Nayata stand as punishment.
さあ説明して、ちゃんとわかるように。
I could barely contain my rage, but Nayata just flashed his usual carefree smile.
あの人たちは俺が困ってる時に手を差し伸べてくれた人たちなんです。借金が払えなかった俺に力になる、いくらでも貸すって言ってくれて、利子は少し高いですけど助かってます。
So they are loan sharks.
そういうのを闇金って言うんだけどね。
というか、その人たちいつも取り立てに来るの？わざわざ来るなんてめんどくさそう。
今日は特別ですよ。いつもはバイトしてお金を振り込んでってしてましたから。でも
Nayata glanced over at me.
ひばりさんのこと考えてたら忘れちゃってて。
Don't you dare blame me for this.
でもほら、ちゃんとお金は返せたし、わざわざ来てくれるなんて本当に親切な人たちですよね。
来てくれたというか、取り立てだろう。
けど取り立て屋にしちゃ妙にヘコヘコしてたっつうか、普通はもっと脅したりするもんだろ。
最初はファイティングって感じだったんですよ。組手とかもよくかけられてたし。けど相手してるうちにすっかり仲良しになっちゃって。
Ah. Only you could do that, Nayata. Only you.
帰り討ちか。
Tiger was absolutely right. Nayata's naive and golden retrieverish personality had probably caught them off guard. The more I dealt with Nayata, the more I realized his unbridled enthusiasm would be his downfall.
そもそもどうして借金なんかしたの？何か事情でもあったの？
For some reason, Nayata really lights up when I ask him questions like a school teacher.
最初は確か服を呼ぶ招き猫だったかな。
招き猫？
はい、親切な人が俺には絶対必要だからって今買わないと3日以内に死ぬって言われて。
Ah, he got scammed all the way into debt, did he?
それを信じたのか？
あとはお金がいっぱい増える話があるから借金しても投資した方がいいって言われて、お金増えませんでしたけど。
増えなかったじゃなくて消えたかな。
あとは運命の相手に出会えるブレスレット、ご飯が増えるお茶碗とかも勧められて借金して買いました。
So, after the first thing didn't work, you kept going back?
最後のは騙される方が悪い。つかどうやったらそんなのに引っかかるんだよ。
自分でもわかんないんですけどみんな優しいし借金はバイトで返せるし全然大丈夫。
大丈夫ではありません。
Kasuga broke his silence and took a step toward Nayata.
八神様、今回の件がいかに危険なことか理解してらっしゃいますか？
Yeah, apparently Nayata has a part-time job. That's clearly what he's doing in the middle of the day while we're gone. I guess to keep himself... I guess he needs one to keep himself busy. I'm surprised he doesn't have more than one part-time job, you know.
危険？何がですか？
八神様は現在花婿候補として東条家の預かりになっている立場です。それが明らかに裏社会の人間と思われる者と関わりがあると知られればよからぬ噂が立ち信用問題に発展します。つまりひばり様に大迷惑がかかります。
ひばりさんに大迷惑？
Nayata fell to the floor and curled into a ball, his teeth chattering from shock.
そんな、俺はなんてことを。それじゃあ、俺はどうしたら。
借金返済が一番じゃないかな。
借金がなければ借金取りも来られないしね。
そうなりゃお嬢に選ばれる可能性も高くなるな。
本当ですか？
は？
よーし、今月中に借金ゼロにするぞ。
それは不可能です。ご自分の借金総額がおいくらかご存知ですか？
Kasuga, how big is Nayata's debt? Kasuga gave Nayata a cold stare, and Nayata blinked in response, his expression blank.
いっぱい？
How much is his interest payment? That would probably give us a reasonable idea.
間違ってはいませんね。
そっか、いっぱいか。
Does he not understand what lots means?
まあ全額は無理としてもとりあえず闇金の分だけは片付けろ。それならなんとかなるだろう。春日、
死ぬ気になれば
ですが。
よっしゃ、俺そういうの得意です。見ててください、ひばりさん。俺死ぬ気で借金返済しますから。
Well, good luck with that, I guess. His face lit up with a smile, but mine twitched in frustration. Rabby
ラビも
time.
なかなか優秀な密偵ですよ。
ビーフストロガノフは先週作ったばかりだし、ローストポークは少し重いか。パスタ、キッシュ、リゾット、ピザ。ひばりさんを笑顔にするためには一体どれが正解なんだ？
The Hibari, none of those. But pizza or risotto, please.
Ichiya, 騒がしいんだけど、うるさくて見に来ちゃった。
Actually, I just realized that I don't think I want Ichiya making pizza because I don't want to think about what kind of weird stuff he'd do to my pizza. And although I suppose in general pizza is pizza, can you really mess it up? Probably, but even if he puts weird ingredients on it, I can always pick them off.
ねえ、せっかくだし何か作ってくれない？僕お昼まだ食べて。
悪いがシオン、それはできない。なぜなら俺はひばりさんに喜んでもらうため、夕食の献立を考えている真っ最中だからね。
You can mess up any form of cooking by overcooking it. That is true. That is true. But that's not the way that Ichiya messes things up, so...
でも料理は一夜の担当でしょ？
俺の料理はひばりさん専用だ。君たちの分はあくまでついで。それより早く献立を考えないと。何にすべきか。見た目も良くてカロリー控えめで。
ねえ一夜、献立僕も考えてあげる。
え？いや、遠慮するよ。シオンが料理をするところなんて一度も。
僕が美容に詳しいのは知ってるでしょ？そういう料理ならひばりちゃんも喜ぶと思うけど。
Don't put in more on that train of thought, Shion.
それはそうかもしれないが。
We want edible food, not beautiful food.
じゃあ決まり。最初のメニューはグラタンかな。豆乳とほうれん草を使ったのはどう？
豆乳。確かに美容にも健康にもいいイメージだな。参考にメモしておくか。
ホワイトソースにも合うし、血行改善とか悪玉コレステロールにも効き目があるっていうし。
血行改善、悪玉コレステロール。それは確かにひばりさんも喜ぶかもしれない。
I can see Hibari not caring about that.
ほうれん草は美肌効果とか抗酸化作用も期待できるみたい。でもあんまり入れないで。僕はソースに具はちょっとが好みだから。
美肌効果、抗酸化作用、ほうれん草そんな、クリームソース。
Shion's just ordering for himself, right?
濃厚なクリームグラタンにはさっぱりしたスープが合うと思う。例えばコンソメスープとか。
コンソメ？それじゃああまりに簡単じゃ。
だからそこをアレンジするんでしょ。玉ねぎとベーコンとトマトとパセリ。彩りもいいし可愛く工夫できると思うよ。
なるほど、それもそうか。シンプルなものほど腕を見せるチャンスになるし。
ベーコンは無添加のものにしてね。添加物は取らないことにしてるから。
彩りの工夫、ベーコンは無添
あとはやっぱりデザートだよね。ひばりちゃんも楽しみにしてると思う。
加。そこは俺も考えてたんだ。今日のデザートは豆腐ドーナツ。その場で揚げたものに砂糖をかけて。
What? Donuts?
いいちや、グラタンの後にドーナツはきついよ。もっと軽く食べられるババロアとか。
ババロ
うん、せっかく豆乳使うんだから、豆乳オレンジババロアなんていいかも。冷たくて食べやすくてぴったりでしょ。オレンジは甘すぎない方がいいかな。ババロアにも少し砂糖を入れるしね。僕もその方が好きだし。
ア？ババロアはまだ作ってなかったんだな。オレンジも売れすぎてないものを用意すれば後味もすっきりだ。よし、これなら絶対ひばりさんを喜ばせられる。
夕食楽しみにしてるね。
ああ、助かった。感謝するよ、シオン。
うん。でも感謝の印は言葉よりも態度で示してほしいな。
So could you make me lunch now?
というわけで、イチや、僕のランチはクロックマダムとミモザサラダでよろしく。
まあ仕方ない。そこで待っていてくれ。
What's the difference between a croque monsieur and a croque madame? I need to know. A croque madame has an egg on top of it. All right. Sounds tasty.
はーい。
At first, it seemed like Shion was being nice, but he actually slipped in all his requests without batting an eye. I don't think Ichiro even noticed how Shion played him like a fiddle. You're not one to be underestimated, are you, Shion? Back to the board. Through Ichiro's eyes, Naito works hard to pay back his loans. To help him out, Ichiro reluctantly decides to...
ただいま。
やあ、じゃあなんだ、今日はずいぶん早いな。
別に。
Tiger chuckled at my response.
ナユトなら仮眠してるぜ。次は朝までコーチだってよ。
He's doing construction overnight, huh?
そう。
Naito hasn't been home very often ever since the incident with those debt collectors. If I'm ever able to catch him, he's either sleeping or eating.
体壊さないかしら。
あいつは頑丈だからな。それに思わぬおまけももらえてるみてえだぜ。
おまけ？
まあキッチン覗いてみろよ。面白いもんが見られるぜ。
I was puzzled by Tiger's smug look, but headed to the kitchen.
まだ緑の野菜が少ないか。ブロッコリーかピーマンを。
う
わあ
Ichiro swung around widely and I jumped back. Oh yeah, he's definitely overdoing it, right, Drag?
驚かせるつもりはなかったんだけど。
いや、俺も出迎えできなくてすまなかったね。
Ichiro avoided my eyes as he tried to hide something behind him.
背中のそれは何？
いや、
見せて。
君に見せるほどのものでは。
早く。
Ichiro dropped all pretense and slowly stepped aside, revealing...
お弁当？
Oh, Ichiro's sending him with a bento, so his overnight job. That's sweet. It was enormous. That thing could feed 10 people easy. I looked back at Ichiro and he awkwardly averted his gaze.
その、なんていうか、彼のような大食いが夜食を買っていたらいつまでも借金は返済できないし、俺が花婿に選ばれた時言い訳にされても後味が悪いし、だから彼が心配とかそういうことではなく、深い理由もなく、ただそこにあるものを。
つまり、那由他くんのお弁当？
まあ。
Wow, this is unexpected. Ichiro usually tells Nayata to shut up or complains that he eats too much. But here he is, making this really nice lunch.
那由他くんのこと可愛がってるのね。
いや、可愛がってるとかじゃないさ。ただ俺はその。
Ichiro tripped over his words until he finally let out a sigh of admission.
そうだね。こうして弁当を作っているということは、そういうことなんだろうね。那由他のトラブルメーカーぶりには、俺だって辟易しているはずなんだよ。でもなぜか、どうしてか、憎めないんだ。
A heartbreaking look crossed Ichiro's face.
お腹が空いたとつぶやかれると、なぜか食事を与えなければと思ってしまう。弟というか、ペットのような気持ちで。
Yeah, I get that. When I yell at him, he sulks, and when I praise him, he perks up and comes right over to me. That puppy dog quality can't be a good trait.
でもまあ、出したものは美味しそうに食べるしね。本当に美味しいしか言わないから、あまり味の参考にはならないんだけど。
Ichiro went back to preparing the food with a wry smile. Putting those mini sausages into cute little octopus shapes might be Ichiro's way of showing he cares.
私も手伝っていい？
え？
何よその顔。私だって料理くらいできるの。待ってて、すぐに着替えて。
ダメだ。
どうして？
Ichiro's gaze bore straight through me.
俺より先に君の手料理を食べるなんて許せない。俺だって本当は食べたいのに。それなのに。
Ichiro shut his mouth, snapping back to reality.
とにかく、ここは俺一人で十分だから、君は手を洗ってゆっくり着替えてきて、おやつにスコーンを焼いておいたからね。ほら、早くしないと冷めてしまうよ。とびっきりのオレンジジャムも用意したから、ね。
He drives a hard but delicious bargain. I acquiesced, and Ichiro gently but firmly led me out of the kitchen. I'm still thinking about how huge that lunchbox was. I guess it'd have to be for Nayata. He'd probably wolf it all down and beg for more. I couldn't help but laugh to myself as I pictured Nayata as a little puppy dog. Do we have Ravi? No Ravi. Ooh, do
た
I need
ま
to
に
move
妙
Rabby
な
then?
視線を感じるんだ。
Let's move Rabby then. Oh, my choices are Ichia's room, Tiger's room, or my own room. My own room? Through Shion's eyes. Shion still uses Nayuta like he's a servant, despite how busy he is. I try to lecture him, but... Peace and quiet. I've noticed it's been a lot calmer lately, even in the living room. I'm pretty sure I can guess why.
静かだね。ナユタがいないと。
I looked over to see Shion smiling gently at me from his spot on the couch.
ほんと、最近バイトばっかりだもんね。朝から次の朝まで。
無茶よ、あんなの。
でも、ナユタ生き生きしてるし、楽しそうじゃない？
この状況で楽しいとか楽しくないとかの問題じゃ。
ただいま
あ、帰ってきたみたい。
I schooled my expression into something normal and adjusted my posture as I anticipated his footsteps.
ただいま戻りました。シオンさん、バッチリゲットです。
ありがとう。ナユタはやればできる子だね。
Nayuta handed Shion a paper bag. I just stared at them, unable to grasp the situation. Shion noticed and smiled.
人気のスイーツ買ってきてもらったんだ。ひばりちゃんも一緒に食べよう。3時間くらい並ばないと買えないんだって。
I can't believe him! Shion knows Nayuta's running himself ragged. How could he ask him to do extra errands? Especially extra errands that involve standing in a line for 3 hours. This is absolutely ridiculous! Just as I was about to voice my displeasure.
ひばりさんもお願いないですか?
Get some sleep!
は？買い物でも掃除でも荷物運びでも何でもやります。俺ができることないですか？
何かって。今日の仕事は？
ちょっと仮眠したら朝まで警備員。その後は工事現場に直行です。
じゃあ寝て。
でも。
That's an order. Go to bed.
でもじゃないの。
I gave him a stern look and Nayuta pouted all the way to his room. What's wrong with that boy? Things are difficult for him.
かわいそう、ナユタ。
は？
ひばりちゃんにお願いしてもらえるかもって、あんなにワクワクしてたのに。
Am I seriously being blamed here? All I did was not ask him for a favor when he was already wiped out. I mean, maybe we could have worded it better. You say, the best thing you can do for me right now, Nayuta, is get some sleep. Or something.
お言葉ですけど、私は疲れてる人に余計な負担をかけられるほどずうずうしくないんです。お使いとか自分でできることは特に。
ナユタはずうずうしいなんて思わないよ。
そういうことじゃ。
ナユタにとってお願いされるって会話とかハグとかそういうのに似てることだと思うから。
Shion smiled cheerfully at my puzzled expression.
お願いを聞いてあげることで相手は喜ぶし、褒められれば自分も嬉しい。ナユタ式コミュニケーション。
I understood what he was getting at, but I felt like that way of communicating was extremely problematic.
重要と ぎるわ。求めてないのにお願いをねだられても困る。
どんなささやかなことでもいいんだよ。少しでも役に立てれば満足なんだから。
でも本当に役に立ちたいって思うなら自分で考えて行動することも必要でしょ。今のままじゃ命令されて動くだけ。
へえ、ひばりちゃんにはそう見えるんだ。
I was surprised by Shion's tone of voice. It felt like he was teasing me.
僕はなゆたはすごくわがままに自分勝手に動いてると思うけど。
Selfish? Doing what he wants? Nayata is definitely a handful, but I cannot agree with what Shion just said. Nayata might be misdirecting his energy or his motivations or something like that. But he's not selfish, he's just inconvenient. I remained unconvinced, but Shion kept smiling.
なゆたは欲しいものにまっすぐだから、それを得るためにすごくわがままな選択をしてるってこと。
Hello, Nick. How are you doing? Shion happily opened the bag of sweets, despite my growing concern.
見て、トッピングがすごく細かいよ。味もいいって聞いたから楽しみ。はい、ひばりちゃんも一つどうぞ。
結構です。疲れてるなゆたくんが買ってきたものを私がもらうのはおかしいわ。
Shion sighed with disappointment when I staunchly refused.
疲れてるって思うなら食べてあげればいいのに。
Busy, huh, Nick? So's Nayata. Nayata is doing all of the jobs right now. Is basically what you've missed. It was pointed out to Nayata that he should really pay off his debt. If anything, extras out of their own money when they get Nayata to buy something for them, are they spending their own money on Nayata's? Good question. Good question. I mean, Shion's not going to be spending his own money if he can help it, right?
それでお礼を言えばパーフェクト。なゆたの疲れは君が喜んでスイーツを食べれば吹き飛ぶよ。
If I enjoy eating them, Nayata will be less tired. That makes no sense. Seeing that I was at my wit's end, Shion handed me a magazine.
これ、参考にどうぞ。
The magazine was titled How to Train Your Dog.
結構です。
I retorted and stalked out of the living room. Ravi.
なかなか優秀な密偵ですよ。おやおや、困りましたね。枕の位置を正そうとしてこんなものを見つけてしまいました。女子高生だけど花婿選び。少女漫画のようですね。ひばり様のご趣味でしょうか。それにしてもこの題名、まさか参考になるかもとは思っていないと思いますが、もしそうならば少し笑ってしまいますね。ひとまずこの女子高生だけど花婿選びは元の場所に戻しておくとして、今度からはもっと見つからない場所に隠した方が賢明でしょうね。ラビ様もそう思いませんか？
Ooh, embarrassment. No, it was Tsumugi who voiced that. Oh, wait just a minute. Kasuga asked me today if my pillows were comfortable and if the fabric was to my liking. Was that why? He definitely wasn't talking out loud in the recording for his own benefit. Yeah, Kasuga, you know about Ravi, don't you? Yes, of course. That's where we hide something, Kasuga won't find it. Yeah, probably. Alright. My number one priority. Nature is so busy, it's starting to concern me. One morning I decided to talk to him about it.
それで今朝も早くからアルバイトに出て行ったわ。帰ってくるのは明日の昼近く。
まあそれは大変ですのね。でも彼のスケジュールしっかり把握しているなんて。
I sighed deeply at how mistaken my best friend was.
そうじゃなくて、最近は春日が那由他くんのスケジュール管理してるのよ。だから嫌でも耳に入ってくるの。
まあ残念。でもどうして春日さんが？
那由他くんに任せてるとバイト中に借金が増えるらしくて。
That's a very good point. Nayuta cannot be allowed to apply for his own part-time work. Because there are too many scams in this world. Nayuta would be like, oh, you need me to pay up front for my training? Yeah, that's fine. Right? Kasuga wasn't one to sit idly by, so he found a job that suited Nayuta and apparently finagled it into his schedule.
でも春日も問題よ。妙に乗り気というか、楽しんでるというか。
You doubt Nayuta would even take the training in the first place. I mean, there's not even necessarily any actual training. Just the company being like, yeah, you give us money for this and then we'll pay you back later or whatever.
Yagami様、今日のスケジュールをお伝えします。
お願いします。
朝8時半から夕方5時まで建設現場、5時半から6時半まで着ぐるみでイベントへ、7時から明日の午前中まで工事現場。
Kasuga, that's a lot. When is Nayuta showering? All three of these jobs seem very sweaty.
ちょっと待って。
何か気になるところでも？
気になるって、その予定でいつ寝るのよ。食事だってろくに取れないじゃない。
ご安心ください。すべて計算の上です。体力の限界やワーキングハイになるタイミング、実力を発揮できる仕事。これ以上に完璧なスケジューリングはないでしょう。いかがですか、八神様。
Like a caravan or something and make him shower on the move. Oof.
はい。春日さんの入れてくれる仕事、すごく充実感もやりがいもあるし、俺春日さんの言う通りに働きます。
上京されてますわね、八神さん。
Tsumugi hit the nail on the head. From the outside, those two looked like a trainer and his hard-working puppy.
別になゆたくんがいいならいいのよ。彼がいないと家の中は静かだし、春日も忙しくて彼に小言を言う暇もないみたいだし。
I poked at my lunch. Tsumugi looked at me with an amused expression.
ねえ、そのやきもちはどなたに向けてのものですの？
は？
八神さんがいなくて寂しいのか、それとも八神さんに春日さんを取られて拗ねているのか、どっちですの？
どっちも違う。うるさい人たちから解放されてせいせいしてるくらい。
確かに八神さんは賑やかな方ですわね。だからこそ私にはあなたが彼に気を許しているように見えますわよ。
Get away with so much. Me? Him? I tried to bring up an example to refute her, but irritatingly couldn't.
では、例えで考えてみましょう。ある日、どうしても無人島で暮らさなければいけない事情ができました。一緒に行くなら、八神さんと三森さん、どちら？
Can I pick neither? But Nayata is probably more useful. Sorry, Ichia, but... A deserted island. I had trouble imagining such an unrealistic setting, but tried for Samugi's sake. If I were on a deserted island, I'd have to do everything myself, like fetch my own water and build a fire. Everything from preparing food to building shelter. Is Ichia really capable of all that? I can only see him going around in circles.
その二人ならなゆたくん。
では、次の質問。
There's more?
楽しい遊園地に行きました。絶叫マシーンにペアで乗るなら、八神さん、イスルニさん。
I don't know, which one of them enjoys roller coasters? I scowled at the words intense roller coaster. Those rides are meant to make you scream, but they're so terrifying you can't at all. I'm always so worried before getting on that my body shakes. And during the ride I'm still trembling because I think I'm going to fall. Well, if that's how you feel about roller coasters, you probably don't want to be going with Tiger. Because he is gonna take the piss out of you afterwards. Once I get off, the shock from the experience makes me tremble even more. Basically, I never stop shaking. I wouldn't want Tiger to see me like that. I gritted my teeth with annoyance.
なゆたくんと乗る。
Tsumugi nodded with a giant smile on her face, obviously pleased.
では、最後の質問ですわ。テニスでパートナーを組むなら、八神さんと真由さん、どちら？
Well, I have a hard time imagining Shion playing tennis, so... Okay, this is a trick question no matter how you slice it. Nayuta's basically the king of all sports. I can't even imagine Shion lifting a racket. Tsumugi has to know that...
どちらにしますの？
I grumpily responded to Tsumugi's smug prompting.
なゆたくん。でも、どの質問もずるいわよ。
あら、どうしてですの？
だって消去法でなゆたくんしか残らないじゃない。選ばせようとしてるもの。
I frowned, but Tsumugi's grin just grew bigger.
ひばり様は消去法でお選びになりましたの？
そうよ。 マシって方。
他の無垢候補たちに比べて八神さんはマシ。つまり他の3人よりは多少なりとも彼を信頼しているということですわよね。
Can we schedule a 2v2 match of any sports between the suitors? Well, we know who would win in that case, really.
そういうことじゃ。
でも彼らに出会ったばかりの頃なら全員まとめてお断りと答えていたはず。それがマシになったのは進歩では。
I feel like Tsurugi's directing this directly at me, going, yeah, out of all of them, Nayuta's probably the best bet.
あなたから信頼されることはあなた自身が思っているよりもずっと貴重で難しいことですのよ。ですから八神さんに対する思いを少しだけ考えてみてもよろしいかと。
My feelings for Nayuta.
俺ひばりさんのためなら何でもします。
I admit that if someone else told me that, I'd probably dismiss them. Or even be disgusted. But not with him. He's for real. He means it 110%. Just one look at his fervent, genuine eyes. It's laughable to think he has an ulterior motive. All that might be true, but...
別に信頼してるわけじゃないから。
まあ、それは失礼いたしました。
Tsumugi said one thing, but her smile told quite a different story.
失礼いたします。お茶をお持ちしました。宿題の進み具合はいかがですか？
ちょうど終わったところ。
Getting lost in the moment, I closed my textbook and casually asked,
那由他くんの借金返済は計画通りに進んでる？
気になりますか？
Sharp as ever, Kasuga. I kept quiet and Kasuga smiled confidently at me.
前にも申しましたでしょ。すべて計画通りだと。この調子なら月末には目標額達成です。
Kasuga's words put me at ease, so I floated an idea that had been on my mind.
話を聞いてて思ったんだけど、那由他くんの借金って全部騙されたものだったのね。子供みたいな人だから遊ぶためとか想像してたけど、あの性格なら親切にされたらすぐに信じちゃいそうだし。
自業自得ですよ。間違いなく。自分の懐事情や生活のことを考えず、その場の空気で高額な金を支払う。資料が全く足りていません。浅はかで短絡的で軽率です。ではおやすみなさいませ。夜更かしはいけませんよ。
Kasuga gracefully exited my room, leaving behind traces of his scathing argument and cheerful smile. He says that, but he still worries about Nayuta. Otherwise, he wouldn't manage his schedule the way he does. Kasuga doesn't work for anyone but me. I know that better than he does. I put my embroidery needle back into the pincushion and let out a sigh of satisfaction. This was a good stopping point. Oh, time really flies when I embroider. I didn't realize it was too late. No, I didn't realize it was so late. I stretched my stiff body and heard a few bones crack. If I don't get to bed, I'll hear about it from Kasuga.
まだ起きてらっしゃるのですか？
今寝るところ。
I hurriedly put away my embroidery tools at the sound of Kasuga's voice behind my door.
針が落ちていないか、もう一度確認してくださいね。
He knows exactly what we were doing. Does he have ESP or something? Doubting Kasuga's telepathic powers, I happily tucked myself into bed. Suddenly I jerked awake and noticed the room was darker than usual. What time is it? A prickling pain shot down my spine as I reached for my cell phone. Oh, I really have to stretch later. I love embroidery, but this is what happens when I craft too hard. Sighing, I looked at my phone screen. 5:15 a.m. Way too early to be awake. Yeah, I agree with that one. I tried to fall back asleep, but my brain had other plans. So I stared at the ceiling for a while, before deciding that was pointless. I got dressed and went down to the living room. As expected, no one was up yet.
まあ、そうよね。
The living room is always so loud. Someone's either laughing or shouting. So it's kind of refreshing, but also eerie for it to be this quiet. At least it's peaceful like this. What's that weird shouting? I feel like I've heard it before. Could it be? No, definitely not, but wait. Is that Nayata? From a one-handed handstand, he vaulted into a backflip. Then he somersaulted and seamlessly transitioned into a cartwheel. Now he's walking backward on his hands. How can he be so acrobatic when he should be totally exhausted? Yep. Or to quote what a friend said about me while we were in Walt Disney World, where you get your energy from should be studied. I watched in astonishment as he landed on his feet. He looked up and our eyes met.
ひばりさん
Nayata nimbly ran over to me with a spring in his step and a sparkle in his eyes.
おはようございます。今日は早いんですね。ああ、ひばりさんだ。
I mean, I would also like to know how I'm basically a completely different person energy-wise while I'm on holiday. Um,
こんな朝早くから何してるの？
ストレッチですけど。
a bit more than just stretch, isn't it? The excitement takes over. Yeah, probably. That is probably it. Just fueled by excitement. afterwards the fatigue kicks in. Yes. Yeah, the part where you need a holiday because of your holiday. That's what you call stretching.
こうやって毎朝ストレッチするのが俺の日課なんです。あとはジョギングと腹筋も。さ、どうせならひばりさんも一緒にやりましょうよ。
私は大丈夫。朝からそんなハードな運動できないし、それに今日は背中が痛くて。
痛い？怪我ですか？大変じゃないですか。早く病院に。救急車も。
大丈夫だから、ちょっと凝ってるだけ。
凝ってる？そういう時こそストレッチですよ。俺手伝いますから。
いや、いいからって。ちょっとねえ。
はい、背中を合わせて。
Naruto pushed his back against mine and in one fluid motion lifted me up.
こういうの体育でよくやりましたよね。
足が。
あとは馬跳びとか流行りましたよね。ひばりさんはやったこととかってもう暴れちゃダメです。だ
って危ない。
大丈夫ですよ。俺を信じてください。
Naruto leaned forward even more, stretching my back way out. This actually feels pretty good.
よーし、いい感じですね。もっともっと伸ばしましょう。
ちょっと
このまま散歩するのも楽しいかも。家の周りぐるっとしてみますか？
しない。
遠慮しないで。
してない。
It's quite a cute CG though. I gasped for air after finally disentangling myself from Naruto.
どうですか？少しは背中楽になりました？
なった。もう大丈夫。
Don't make me do any more, please. Naruto stretched with a satisfied smile.
久々にひばりさんに構ってもらえて俺幸せです。
私が構わないんじゃなくて、なゆたくんが構われに来ないだけでしょ。
え？
そもそも家にいないんじゃ構えな。
I bit my tongue. I'd already said too much.
違うの。今のに深い意味はなくて、私は悪くないって言いたくて。
俺のこと構いたいって思ってくれたんですか？
Of course, that's what he's taking from us.
いや、だから。
もしかしてですけど、俺がそばにいなくて寂しいって思っ。
だからそうじゃなくて。
I turned to face Naruto and his beaming eyes pierced me. I got lost in those sincere emerald eyes. Worried or irritated? I mean, honestly, when are you sleeping, boy? Yep. I've given him an axe.
ただ心配なだけ。
心配？
春日は大丈夫だって言ってたけど、忙しすぎたら体を壊すし、借金返済はいいことだけど。
Just take care of yourself. I couldn't articulate my feelings very well, but I guess I tried. I frowned at my inadequacy, but Naruto's face lit up in a flash.
やっぱりひばりさんは優しい。すっごく優しい。この地球上で一番優しい人ですよ。
Oh no, I think I'm starting to blush.
幸せ者だ。
Yeah, definitely feeling flames of embarrassment. I looked down and tried to hide my red face, but Nayata caught my eyes and smiled.
心配してくれてありがとうございます。でも俺は大丈夫です。結構頑丈なんですよ。朝も運動したくなるくらいの元気はあるし。あ、でもひばりさんが心配してくれるなら、あと3倍くらいバイト増やします。
No, you don't need to increase the work. Nayata.
絶対やめて。
I cleared my throat, ignoring Nayata's pouting.
とにかく春日も借金返済の目処は立ったって言ってたし、那由他くんも少しは気が楽になるでしょ。よかったじゃない。
I attempted to compliment him with that, but Nayata just tilted his head to the side as if in thought.
気が楽というか、ちょっと安心してますけど。でもそれは俺の問題とは別っていうか。
別？
本音を言えば、借金がいっぱいあるとか、そういうのは割とどうでもよくて。
よくないでしょう。
そうなんですけど。でもやっぱり俺の一番はひばりさんだから。俺に借金があることでひばりさんに迷惑がかかるなら、それは絶対ダメです。俺が俺を許しません。だから頑張ります。
Well, I guess it's nice that he's motivated to fix his problem, I suppose.
俺の一番はいつでもひばりさんなんです。ぶっちぎりでダントツでずば抜けて一番です。もしひばりさんが呼んでくれたら、他のことなんか全部捨てていきます。借金返済だって後回しです。だから困ったことがあったら絶対に俺を呼んでください。
Nayata's unwavering gaze took my breath away. That was so honest. I didn't know what to say. It was so straightforward and open. It was all just so passionate. I couldn't possibly say anything like that. I gave myself a moment and took a deep breath. Yeah, his sincerity is really breathtaking. He's so genuine, and his ability to communicate his thoughts honestly is also a strength. And I'd be lying if I said I wasn't happy when he told me I'm his top priority. But
今は借金返済に集中して気持ちだけ受け取っておきます。
はーい。
I exhaled deeply as Nayata hung his head. It seems like he meant every word about taking care of me. However, paying off his debt is the most important thing right now. The closer he comes to that goal, the better. It won't be long now. You've got this, Nayata, I know you do. Room raiding. Tiger and I barge into Nayata's room to find the manga Tiger lent him. In the mess, I find.
もうこんな時間、親方に怒られる。
おお、なえた。前に貸した漫画、あれどこだ？
俺の部屋です。適当に漁ってください。じゃあ行ってきます。
漁れって、たくめんどくせえな。
タイガさん、一人で何をブツブツ。
いやー、なゆたが漫画を。いいことを思いついたぜ、おしょ。
But a bad feeling about this.
はい、オープン。
ちょっと勝手に。
安心しろ。あさっていいって言われてる。
あさる？
ああ、貸してる漫画があってな。スーパーギャンブラー第7巻。
What an awful title.
なんならお嬢も読むか？ギャンブル好きな男が主人公でな。世界中のカジノで稼いだり、すってんてんになったり。
Isn't that just you, Tiger?
結構です。
面白いのに。まあいいや。とりあえずそれ探してくれ。
なんで私が。
いいだろ？ナイウタの部屋、いろいろ見られるぜ。あんなものやこんなものが出てくるかもな。
あんなもの？何の話？
それはあさってみてのお楽しみだ。じゃ、頼むな。
ちょっと。
Tiger ignored my protestations and raided the room, rummaging through Nayata's things. Hush! I was appalled, but decided to glance around the room. There was workout equipment I didn't recognize, snacks that had been open for who knows how long, rumpled clothes in various states of cleanliness, and a used towel. I mean, it doesn't look that bad. When it said something about a mess, I was expecting it to look worse.
ああ、男の部屋なんかこんなもんだろう。それより早く漫画探せよな。
命令しないで。
But I was already here, so I might as well. Annoyed as I was, I started searching. These clothes are all over the floor. These need to go in the wash. Yeah, that's a good point. Does Nayuta have time to clear up after himself? To do the laundry, you know, things like that. If you're not going to finish your snacks, at least close the bag. Look, these rubber bands would have worked just fine. There are holes in these socks.
何？
お前はナユタの母ちゃんか。
I'm just concerned, that's all.
見つかんねえな。マジでどこやったんだよ。
今日は諦めたら？本人が帰ってきたら聞けばいいじゃない。
今読みたいんだよ。
何よそのわがまま。
You know what? Not my problem. I cleaned up Nayata's things and placed them on the bed. I was just about to leave when... What's that behind the bed? I pulled out a sun-bleached tattered manga that had seen better days. Deus Ex Gambler.
おお、これだよこれ。お手柄だぜお嬢。サンキューな。
Without another word, Tiger left the room in a great mood.
ちょっと待ってよ。
I tried to go after him, but something snagged my foot.
持ってきちまったか、靴下。
だって気になるんだもん。
There's just something about Nayuta. Something that makes me want to keep caring even about the little things that Kasuga ignores. And right now, that something's compelling me. Anyway, I should darn these socks. Yeah, I had a feeling that's what she was gonna do. I determinedly set off to my room to grab my sewing kit. Ooh. whiz message.
俺もメッセージ送っちゃおうかな。
Hey Barry, your... I'm sorry, but Tiger said... my sock. And you... Did you really? I'm sorry? I'm sorry, it bothered me and I just had to mend it. Really? Then you did do it. It was just a bit of simple darning. Ibari, you fixed my sock. Thank you so much. You're welcome. I'll put it in a place of honor. Don't just wear it like a normal human being. I can't. It's no longer a sock for mere mortals. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Good night. Good night. Oh, Nayuta. Also, we haven't had a Rabbi, so I think I need to move him. Let's move Rabbi to Tiger's room instead. It's your Dobby, oh no. Right, I'm going to go get some more water. I will be right back. I'm back. Paid off! Congrats! Mayata successfully paid off a chunk of his loans. I can think of only one reward to give him. Finally, the end of the month and the fated day arrived.
ナイタ、借金返済おめでとう。
おめでとうございます。
おめでとう。
ありがとうございます。
I've never
seen someone happier than Nayata after we all praised him. I think it's just the portion of his loan that the shady loan sharks have. I feel like he has loans with multiple places. He paid things off, just like he promised. It was only what he owed the loan sharks, though. But that doesn't matter right now. I think Nayata worked hard enough to warrant a little celebration.
にしても今日の料理はまるっきりガキの誕生日パーティーだよな。
全部俺の好きなものなんですよ。鶏の唐揚げでしょ、ハンバーグでしょ、ピザにオムライスにちらし寿司。
There was also a cake with whipped cream frosting. On the top it read, "Congratulations on paying off a portion of your debt."
ずいぶん張り切ったね、一夜。
張り切ってなんかないさ。今日思いついた献立がこれだっただけで、別にナユタのためというわけでは。
You definitely did it for Naito, didn't you?
美味しい。俺、日夜さんの唐揚げ大好き。いつもお弁当にいっぱい入れてくれてて、あれでバイトも頑張れたんです。節約もできたし、本当にありがとうございました。
どういたしまして。
春日さんも本当にありがとうございました。
Nayata moved closer to Kasuga as he thanked him.
俺、春日さんについてきてよかったです。
八神様もよくここまで頑張りました。努力の結果と言えるでしょう。この調子なら全額返済も夢ではありませんよ。
え、全額？
ええ、ぜひ一緒に目指しましょう。ちょうどおすすめのバイトを見つけました。船に乗ってマグロを釣る簡単なお仕事。
Are you trying to send him off on a deep sea fishing boat, Kasuga?
マグロ漁じゃねえか。
Completely missing Tiger's joke, Nayata happily leaned forward.
タイガさんも俺のこと褒めてください。ご褒美にお菓子買ってくれたら嬉しいです。
なんで俺が？
As Tiger forced a smile, Shion gestured for Nayata to come over to him.
こっちおいで、ナイタ。僕がご褒美あげる。
本当ですか
Nayata sat attentively next to Shion on the couch. Shion patted his head gently. Ah, head pats for Nayata.
よしよし、偉かったね。
ご褒美って。
うん、ご褒美に頭撫でてあげてる。
お前も満足なのかよ。つか、どうせ褒めてもらうならなあ。
Tiger caught my eyes with a devilish grin and I stepped backward on instinct.
あ、じゃあナユタは頑張ったよな。一生懸命やってたよな。
そうだけど。
ナユタもお嬢に褒めてほしいよな。褒められたら嬉しいよな。
それは嬉しいですけど、それはもちろん嬉しいですけど、でも
Go on, Hibari, give him some head pats too. Pull yourself together and tell him. Nayata's expression was dead serious. I didn't know what to say. You did great, kid. Oh no, he's got a sword!
大変よくできました。
はい。
花丸をあげます。
花丸？やった
ー！何？花丸って飛び跳ねるくらいいいものなの？
まあいいものではあるけれどね。
れであんだけ喜べるってすげえな。
I certainly did not expect this big a reaction. A sword for what fence? Oh no! Shoot, I don't have a fence at all, do I, Drac? Oh no. While we all watched perplexed, I muttered softly to myself.
本人が喜んでるんだからいいのよ。
けどさすがに一言で終わりってのはな。
ちゃんとしたご褒美をあげたら。
What does he mean, my real...
ご褒美？
Nayata responded before I could. Ooh, Hibari? Hibari, what you need is some stickers that say good job on them. I'm pretty sure he'll accept a sticker. I couldn't tell whether he was happy, surprised, or confused. He stood, frozen, with an expression on his face that I'd never seen before.
俺、ご褒美とかもらえたらすっごく嬉しいですけど、でもそんな。
Nayata desperately tried to hide his obvious excitement and let out a deep sigh.
何がいいの？私があげられるものならプレゼントする。
はい。うわ、何にしよう。欲しいもの、欲しいもの、欲しいもの。あ、
I know what he's going to ask for. I know what he's going to ask to be stepped on. Definitely right. Right.
俺、頑張ってほしいです。いっぱい。
No, it's gonna be a date.
バイト中はひばりさんに会えない日もお話できない日もあったし、だからその分頑張ってほしいです。
Yeah, to be fair, of course it was going to be a date, wasn't it? We are at that point in the board. I forgot. Spending time with Nayata. Giving him treats. Taking him for walks. Petting him on the head. None of those feel quite right.
構うって具体的には？
Shion grinned at my bewilderment.
デートかな。
デート？そんなことこの俺が許さ。
うっせ。
Tiger flicked Ichia's forehead, causing him to fall to the ground with his head in its hands.
それでデートは？
I looked over at Kasuga. He gave a slight nod with a strained smile.
今回は八神様の頑張りに敬意を表しましょう。
やったー！それじゃあ今度の日曜日、俺とデートしてください。
わかったわ。
あ、デートだ。よーし。
Nayata got all fired up and started chowing down on the food. A date with Nayata, huh? I couldn't fathom what it would be like. Should I be worried? But it made him so happy. Seeing Nayata stuff his face with such glee made any worries I might have had melt away. Oop, Rabby Vid.
アビより俺を可愛がってください。
Ooh. At first I couldn't tell what music venue these photos were from, but then I realised it was actually Tiger's room. I read Rabi's manual and learned it had an automatic photo editing feature. Regardless, Tiger looks super into it. I guess he's one of those guys that gets carried away. He either thinks he's the next Hendrix or he's really caught up in the moment. If he knew I saw these, he'd be so embarrassed and angry. The thought lifted my spirits for the rest of the day. Yep, very short, Rabi. You see we need to move him? Yeah, Ichia's room. Yeah, let's get an Ichia CG. A gift for Nayata. I start making a little gift for Nayata. Something to reward him. Not a date. After class, as we got ready to leave, I updated Tsumugi on Nayata's situation. She smiled.
それでは無事返済できましたのね。おめでとうございます。
返済って言ってもほんの一部よ。まだまだいっぱいあるんだから。
I didn't even want to know the full amount.
それでも大きな一歩ですわ。返済おめでとうパーティーは楽しめまして？
それはまあだけど那由他くんとデートすることになっちゃって。
まあデート。
Here we go.
ああ、なんて甘い響きでしょう。ロマンスの香りがプンプンしますわ。ぜひとも八神さんには私から乙女をキュンとさせるデートプランのご提案。
Tsumugi suddenly stopped as if her gears jammed. She looked at me with a grave expression.
八神さんとデートというのはお散歩のことではありませんわよね。
犬じゃないから。
Tsumugi covered her mouth in surprise at my curt response.
そうですわよね。おほほほ。
I understand what she means, though, so I can't be too hard on her.
まあそれはそれとして。
他に何かありまして？
Tsumugi eyed me with concern as I struggled to find the right words.
大したことじゃないんだけど。男の人って何をもらったら喜ぶと思う？
それはつまり
違うわよ。別にそういうんじゃないの。なんとなく気になっただけで。
Tsumugi said nothing. She just continued nodding with a knowing look on her face.
だから違うってば。
Tsumugi let a muffled giggle slip out, but seemed satisfied for the time being.
贈り物というのは心ですから、やはり手作りというのは鉄板ですわよ。八神さんにお渡しするのであれば。
あれも那由他くんに渡すなんて言ってないでしょ。
そうでしたわね。例えば八神さんに渡すのでしたら首は
Tsumugi!
だから犬じゃないってば。
あら、私ってばつい。
Tsumugi giggled as she grabbed her bag and hurriedly made her way to the exit. She turned back to me gracefully. I mean, I'm pretty sure that if I gave him a collar, he would wear it. However...
大丈夫ですわ。あなたの手作りなら何でも喜ばれます。では、私はこの辺で。
ちょっと、つむぎ？
Footsteps drowned out my voice. Oh, sure. Anything. Way to be specific. Anything. anything. I still had Nayata's gift on my mind even after I'd returned home. She said he'd be happy with anything. That's probably true. Nayata's the type to like whatever I give him. But I don't want to give him just anything. The whole reason I want to give him a gift at all is because of my half-hearted comments at the party. Ichia didn't say much, but he made all of Nayata's favourite foods for him. And the others congratulated him in their own thoughtful ways. I didn't even come up with the idea of us going on a date as a reward. So now I've got to step up and give him something truly thoughtful. Besides...
俺の一番はいつでもひばりさんなんです。ぶっちぎりでダントツでずば抜けて一番です。
I really was happy to hear his honest feelings. So I want to give him something from me. I just don't know what that something is. A gift from the heart. Something personal. Maybe I'll make something. I could bake. This is Nayata we're talking about, after all. If I find a good recipe, I could make him something nice. Yeah, I could do that. Then again, the kitchen is Ichia's domain, and his cooking is delicious. As much as I'm loath to admit it, I couldn't compare. Yep. Yeah, there's no way Ichia will let us bake for Nayata. He'd get jealous about it. Okay, so... baking's a no. I shoved my inner critic away and tried a different angle. I could craft something. I think it's safe to say that's my speciality. But all I've made so far is stuffed animals, coin purses, beaded accessories and dresses. All girly stuff. Oh, why is this so hard? Embroider him a handkerchief. I think that's a good option, right? Personalised handkerchief? My mind spun the more I thought about it. What would Nayata want? No, not want, more like need. I suddenly realised the answer lay in thinking about what he needed. He always wants company. He's also terribly reckless. You can't leave him alone for even a second and he makes everyone worry about him. What would someone like him need? A leash. I know. It's perfect. And definitely something Nayata needs. I gave myself a little pat on the back. I'll show you a gift from the heart. I quickly set to work, digging through my crafting supplies. Ooh, what's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Rabby video, that's what it's gonna be. Yogurt! High school. Searching for high school girls. Ichia? I wondered what he was staring at so intently. What do high school girls think is cool? I guess he cares about the age difference more than I thought. I had mixed feelings about his secret research, considering he's 26 years old and a ladies' man, I guess. I decided to give him a little credit and pretend I didn't see this footage right now. Alright, Rabby can only... We're exhausting the Rabby. A dependable guy. My date with Nayata shows me just how many friends he's made. I thought of him as a puppy, but The day of our date.
1,2,3,4
おはよう、ナユタくん。
I greeted him as he was stretching. He looked over at me cheerfully. I mean, I'm guessing that there's a certain set of rabby things for the common route, as it were. Maybe we'll have a new set of options once we move on.
ひばりさん、
どうかした？
今日はいつもと雰囲気が違うっていうか。
だって部屋着で出かけるわけにはいかないでしょ？
そうですよね。
I'm going to regret this, aren't I?
それでどこに行くの？
ひばりさんの行きたいところならどこでも。
He doesn't have a plan.
それじゃあご褒美にならないでしょ？ナユタくんが決めて。
でも俺、ひばりさんと一緒にいられればそれで。
I let out a short sigh as Nayata fumbled his words.
普段はどんなところに行ってるの？
公園とか土手とかプールとか。じゃあ今日は俺の大好きな場所にご案内します。さあ、レッツゴー！
ちょっと引っ張らないで。
I managed to grab my purse as Nayata pulled my arm. I hope there'll be a good time to give him his gift.
前通りは早朝のジョギングコースにぴったりなんです。早い時間だと人もあんまりいないし。今度一緒にジョギングしましょう。朝は空気が澄んでて気持ちいいんですよ。
機会があれば。
やったー！
I instantly regretted not giving a flat-out rejection. Nayata started humming cheerfully.
そういえばここでバーベキューの時の犬ともよく会うんですよ。でもなぜか俺を見つけるとすぐ逃げちゃうんですよね。それから猫の親子にもよく会います。少し前まですっごくちっちゃい子猫だったのに今ではでっかくなってて。
そんなに大きかったら大騒ぎじゃない。
本当なんですって。こんななんですから。
Nayata stretched his arms out wide just as a couple walked by, laughing to themselves. Nayata noticed their laughing and smiled at them.
こんにちは。
You're right! We could take Nayata to a cat cafe and he'd enjoy it! Yes, perfect.
ちょっと。
Nayata waved at them energetically. The couple chuckled and gave a little wave back.
知り合いだったの？
違いますけど。このスーパーには一屋さんに頼まれてよくお使いに来るんです。裏の通りには駄菓子屋さんもあるんですよ。
そうなの。
It had been a little while since we all moved into the vacation home, but I still hadn't gotten a good look around the area. I got caught up looking at everything while Nayata continued his tour of the shopping street.
あそこのお惣菜屋さんの手羽先は美味しいし、あの八百屋さんはいつもおまけしてくれるし、あそこのお肉屋さんの。
あら、なゆたちゃんじゃないの。
お、今日も来たか、坊主。なゆた、新鮮なの仕入れてっから後で寄るよ。
はーい。
When is Nayata so popular? I was at a loss for words. Just then, a man poked his head out from a nearby shop.
ナユタ、コロッケ食っとけ。揚げたてだぞ。
いいんですか？
ほらよ。はい、お連れさんも。
はい。おいくらですか？
The man let out a hearty laugh as he handed me the croquette.
いいんだよ。サービスってやつだ。ずいぶん礼儀正しい嬢ちゃんだな。お前も見習えよ、ナユタ。
This feels a lot like a stray dog being taken care of.
おいしい。ありがとうございます。
Naoto beamed from ear to ear. The man looked at him warmly and then went back into the shop.
ひばりさんも食べましょう。
ここで？
はい、揚げたてですから。
Encouraged by Naoto's words, I took a bite. Absolutely delicious. I do like croquettes. Gosh, who knew there was other self-service dining options outside of catered buffets? Hibari learning about street food.
俺の大好きな場所の締めはここです。ジョギングの後にストレッチするのにちょうどよくて。
おや、なゆたくんじゃないかい？
あらあらあら、綺麗な女の子連れちゃって。
ちょっと早くこっちにおいで。
あの人たちも知り合い？
よくおしゃべりするおばあちゃんたちです。ひばりさんのことも紹介しますね。
Naoto grabbed my hand and led me over to the gaggle. I didn't feel like resisting anymore. The elderly ladies all smiled happily as Naoto brought me over to them.
あんたがなゆたくんの言ってたお嬢さんかい？
いや、お嬢さんは立派な人だね。いつも武勇伝を聞かせてもらっているよ。
Yeah, these are one of these grannies is probably the granny that gave him the giant amount of snacks. Yes. Hero, what?
聞いた話じゃ、名奉行のごとく文句を言う輩たちをパッサパッサと成敗してるってね。
He's been telling stories. Punishing who?
それにその人柄に惚れ込んだ敏腕の弟子が常にお供についているとも聞いたよ。その年出て死を持つなんて見事だね。
Is she talking about Kasuga?
泣いている子がいれば慰めて話を聞いてやる。最後には頭をそっと撫でてやるなんて実にあっぱれ。
Naoto, what kind of self-insert fanfiction are you writing here? He has never touched my hair.
こんな子がなゆたくんの彼女になってくれるなんてね。ねえ。
What?
違うって。この人は俺の大切な人だけど、彼女とかそういうんじゃ。
まあ照れちゃって。
そうじゃなくて。
But the grannies didn't let up. They turned to me and smiled.
それでお嬢さんはなゆたくんの動向に惚れたの？なゆたくんはあたしらの孫みたいなもんだから嬉しくってね。
Granny interference. Grandson. It was too late to tell them they had the wrong impression. I'd feel bad disappointing those smiling faces. With an imperceptible sigh, I said, his enthusiasm? I think. Yeah, we'll go with that. Oh! I have a fence! I gained a fence! I got a fence.
元気なところとか
Now Nayata has something to use that sword on. I said the first thing that came to my mind, and the grannies all nodded with approval.
そうね。那由他くんと一緒にいるとこっちまで元気になるわよね。
Yeah, you're right. We don't get to see what's beyond Big Sword. Oh well.
そうそう元気よく挨拶してくれて気持ちいいわ。こないだなんてとっても遠くから私を見つけて手を振ってくれたのよ。
I thought that was him being bothersome.
そっか、元気なところか。
Nayata stood beside me with a big grin, while my face twitched with anxiety.
お幸せにね。
As the elderly ladies said goodbye, I could feel Nayata's eyes on me.
なんかすいませんでした。
いいわよ別に。
ちゃんと勘違いだって言っておきます。
Despite the awkwardness of everything, I couldn't help but laugh at Nayata's terrified expression.
なゆたくんって本当に可愛がられてるのね。
おばあちゃんたちにですか？
いろんな人たちに。商店街の人とか通りがかりの人とか、すぐに人と仲良くなれるってすごいことよ。
Nayata looked so confused. I just nodded at him. It's the least I could do.
みんないい人ばっかだからな。嫌な人に全然出会わないっていうか。
No, you do meet bad people, Nayata.
あなたを騙して変なものを売りつけた人たちはどうなの？
確かにそうなんですけど、それも別に。
別にって、世の中いい人ばかりじゃないのよ。そんな簡単に人を信用しちゃダメ。裏切られて傷つくのは自分なんだから。
俺、傷ついたことないですよ。
え？
だって俺を騙したのひばりさんじゃないし。
いや、でも
だからその騙されて傷つくっていうのは自分が相手を大切に思ってるからで、そうでもない人に騙されても別にそこまで問題じゃないというか。
Shouldn't it be?
だからひばりさんに裏切られたらめちゃめちゃ傷つくし、ものすごく落ち込みます。だってひばりさんは俺の一番だから。
Nayata looked at me with unblinking intensity. He's said that repeatedly now, and with such earnestness that I fear he's crossed the line from sweet to worrying. I tried to smile in an effort to comfort him, taking care not to wince.
あのね、なゆたくん。一番って言ってくれるのは嬉しいけど、すべての基準を私にするのはちょっと。
大丈夫です。全く問題なし。
No, this isn't good. Surely someday something bad will happen. Though I feel like it already has. I should give him the gift now. My heart told me it was the right time, so I reached into my purse and pulled out a small package.
なゆたくん、これ。
Oh, it's a charm. It's a good luck charm. Keep your guard up.
お守りよ。あなたに今一番必要なもの。
You see, Hibari, what you really need to say is, here's a good luck charm, and now you will not need any other good luck charms. So don't buy any more from strange people, because you already have one from me. I was still uncertain how good a gift the charm would be, but it was all I could think of. Moreover, I couldn't think of anything to put on the charm except keep your guard up. It also felt like sewing the charm wasn't enough, so I put some onyx healing crystals inside too. Onyx is said to protect from harm and grant a person better judgment too. I hoped it would give him the insight to see through swindlers. Yes, it was definitely the right choice. Maybe I'm better at this gift-giving thing than I thought.
もしかしてこれ手作りですか?
I nodded and his eyes widened.
でも今はそこじゃないわ。お守りの文字をちゃんと見て。
Yeah, I was just thinking that, Nick. She's like, yes. So he doesn't buy anything from swindlers, proceeds to put crystals in for crystal reasons.
そうよ。すごく大事なことよ。わかった？
Nayata responded by clutching the charm to his chest and standing up tall.
油断大敵。覚えました。
If he can remember it, then I'll have done a good job.
それじゃあ、そろそろ帰りましょう。
はい。ひばりさんのお守り、手作り。
そんなにまじまじ見なくったって誰も取ったりしないわよ。
でも嬉しいじゃないですか。中には何が。
開けたら効き目消えるから。
そうなんですか。俺開けません。絶対。
After his declaration, Nayata stared at the charm in his hands.
でもこれで心置きなく俺もひばりさんを守れますね。
え
？This is supposed to make you less reckless.
俺のことはこのお守りが守ってくれるんで、その分俺はひばりさんを守ることに集中できるなって。
Looks like those bad habits are still going strong.
前にも言ったけど、今のところそういうのは間に合ってるから。
I responded with a sigh. Nayata's face creased with worry and he began pleading with me.
なんでですか。信じてくださいよ。俺結構強いし、いつでも頼ってくれていいですから。
He says that, but...
なゆたくんがもう少ししっかりしてくれたらね。
やっぱり信じてない。本当に俺頼れるんですよ。強いんですよ。
だからね。
これならどうですか。
え？ちょっ
と。Are we being picked up? Yep. Princess Carrie. In the next moment, I felt like I was floating. When I realized what happened, Nayata's smiling face was right in front of me.
どうですか？
どうですかって。ちょっと。
ほらほら暴れない。大丈夫。絶対落としませんから。
That's not what I'm worried about. The couldn't believe he was holding me like some damsel in distress. Public, no less. I felt my face grow hot with embarrassment.
ちょっと、下ろして。
なんでですか？全然危なくありません。ほら、がっちりホールドしてますから。ね、怖くないでしょ？
It's the embarrassment! I suddenly noticed how warm his arms were, as if I could detect even the slightest change in his body temperature.
それじゃ、怖くないって分かってもらえるように、町内一周してみましょう。
No, thank you.
下がってたって守り抜きます。
そんなことしなくていいから、早く下ろしてって言ってるの。
じゃあ俺のこと、もっと頼ってくれますか？頼ってくれるって言うまで話しません。はあ？やっぱりこのまま町内一周。
ちょっと待って。
He sounded pretty serious, so I said, "Oh, battle time!" Which he is gonna win. We get to see what it looks like when one of them wins.
何よ、見ないでよ。もう知らない。
Aww! Oh, that's adorable, actually, though.
わかったから、那由他くんは頼れる。
本当に？
本当よ、本当に本当。那由他くんはすごく頼れるし、頼りたいし、頼ってるから。
Nayata looked dissatisfied and tilted his head, the tips of his head brushing against my cheek. I felt overly aware of the spots his hair touched. My cheeks grew hotter.
那由他くん、お願い、下ろして。
嫌です。
But you said you'd let me down! Samuki's gonna have a lot of fun when she gets word of this. Oh no! Oh no!
ひばりさん柔らかいし、いい匂いするし、なんか話したくない気がしてます。それにこの体勢、しっくりきません？俺はすごくしっくりくるんですよね。
It does not!
よし、このまま家に帰りましょう。
ちょっと
！It was terrifying to be carried that way. Everyone that passed stared at us silently. My expression screamed, "Why are you doing this?" Throughout my protestations, I realized I'd failed to take something important into account. This was a date with Nayata. Keep your guard up. While he held me in his arms, I decided the next time I would make a charm for myself. Several days after Nayata repaid the loan sharks.
ひばりさん、春日さん、いいもの見つけました。
Awesome thing? I felt uneasy hearing those words. Kasuga and I looked at the unfolded flyer. Wards off evil spirits with this special doll, guaranteed to bring good luck. It's
詐欺ですし不気味ですし不要なので却下です。
またですか？これは絶対効き目あるのに。
If it comes on a flyer like that, it's not real, Nayata. How could he say that? No, maybe I should still praise him for this. It's a small step, but at least he came to us for permission before he bought it. Yeah, he is actually keeping that promise. That's actually pretty good, honestly. I gestured for Nayata to hand the flyer over, and Kasuga whispered in my ear.
甘いですよ。 やはり乗せましょう、マグロ漁船。
You're still trying to send him off on a deep sea trawler, Kasuga.
冗談よね。
Kasuga said nothing but snickered. I still have to say something about this.
ねえたくん、私があげたお守り持ってる？
もちろんです。ほら、首から下げてるんですよ。
Nayata gave me a big smile.
油断大敵。
And that's when I realized my good luck charm was ineffective. You're still forgetting, Ivari. What you should have followed that up with was so you don't need any more good luck charms then.
どうしたミスか何々
Hibari, what do you like better? Pink or red? Huh? Why? I couldn't decide between those two, so I figured I should ask you. No, that's not what I meant. Why do you ask? Lucky charm! You gave one to me, right? I want to give something back and I met this really nice person. Hold it. Huh? Just the thought is plenty. I don't need a lucky charm. But it's on special now. Really, I don't need it. Do not buy it. But I wanted to say thank you. Nayata, I do not want that charm. Okay. Of obliviousness and heroism. Nayata apologizes to us for what happened. Listening to his story, he was shockingly heroic. The boys and I had gotten together to discuss my most recent adventures. Sorry, no, this is going to be Nayata, isn't it? Because we had Nayata in the corner. The boys and I had gotten together to discuss my most recent adventures, but it was more like a lecture than a chat. Inchir and Tiger glared at me. I felt super small.
でも無事に終わってよかったじゃない。ナイタは変わった人たちとも仲良くなれるんだね。
Thanks to Shion being nice and changing the subject, the others stopped lecturing me. I was finally free.
俺は組手かけられてもいいんですけど、あの頃は毎日楽しかったな。例えば何が楽しかったんだ？あ、夜道での時代劇ごっことか。
時代劇ごっこ？
夜道を歩いてたらドワドワーっと木刀を持った人が出てきたんで、俺も思わず戦っちゃって。あ、これ時代劇だって。ちゃんと最後は決めポーズしましたよ。
What is your life, Nayata?
それはリンチというものでは。
そういや朝起きたら家の中で男の人が伸びてたこともありましたよ。金属バット大切そうに抱えてて、寝相悪いから蹴っちゃったかな。
あ
気にするところが違うかな。
Yeah, Nayata, you should have been concerned as to why there was a man with a metal bat in your bedroom.
あとは車でひかれそうになった時、逆に体当たりしたらひっくり返っちゃって。
怪我はなかったのかい？
ひっくり返ったのは車ですけど。ああ、もっといろいろやってくれてもよかったのにな。お嬢には今の話聞かせらんねえ。
当然でしょう。こんな野蛮な話。
Did the people inside get hurt? Probably. So I'm going to hope that they were trying to run him down, and that they therefore deserve that.
というか信じない気が。彼女はナユタを3歳児いや
子犬
ぐらいにしか思ってねえしな。
何ですかコソコソしちゃって。何か秘密の相談ですか？
お前には関係ねえよ。つかお前がいると騒がしいな。もう一回バイト付けになってこい。
そのつもりです。ひばりさんにも迷惑かけられないし、いっぱいバイトします。頑張るぞ。えいえいおー。
He's gonna keep going. And that clears Nayuta's board 1. Which puts us back into the common route board. So what are the things we've got now? Not that we have time for any of them, but I'm going to look at what we've got. We've got a Kasuga I don't know. Kasuga takes an unexpected day off. I run into him in town, looking like another person. Well, we have different values. I bump into Aramura while out on the town. Why does she always seem to have a new boyfriend? And then time to choose. My grandfather Takamune suddenly summons me and it seems urgent. Alright. Well, we'll get to those next time. I'm going to call it here. Thank you very much for coming, it's been fun. If you're new here and you've enjoyed your time, please consider subscribing to the channel. You can also follow me on social media, which is linked in the description. The streaming schedule for this channel goes up both over there on social media and over here on YouTube in the posts tab of the channel. The next scheduled stream is Friday, 7 PM, where we're going to be reading some short ghost stories because it's Halloween. So, hope to see you then or another time. Once again, thank you very much for coming, and this is Kalla signing out. See ya, bye bye.